Morning Year 6 and welcome to Wednesday's reading lesson. Remember the theme this week? We are critiquing the media. And today our text is about Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle. Do you know who these women are? So Kate Middleton, she is married to Prince William, and his brother Prince Harry is married to Meghan Markle, and they've both been in the media quite a lot. So what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and go and read the text on Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton, and then when you're ready, come back and unpause. Remember, you can read along with me, and my video is on the Hook Clue YouTube channel in the playlist Text Extracts. Okay, let's have a look. Vocabulary check. So here are some words that you might not have known in the text, or you might have read round them to try and guess what the meaning was. Or you might have gone and got a thesaurus and had a look yourself. So the first one, most notable changes. So notable means that something is worthy of looking at. It's worthy of your attention. Filled with favouritism. So that favouritism is when you give unfair positive treatment to someone at the expense of another person. Journalists unearthed some of British media's most snide and judgmental headlines. So unearthed means you dug up, so it's not easy to find. And judgmental is when you judge something without reason, really, and you've got lots of opinions and they're usually quite critical. Meghan Markle slammed for putting hands in pockets. In this sentence, slammed means it's been severely criticised, so people don't like it. Etiquette expert. Etiquette is just manners, formal manners, and how people are supposed to act in situations. And dictatorial bride, Meghan, means that she was using power while she was a bride. So using power to get what she wanted or rule. So the first bit is partner talk. So if you've got someone to discuss this with, that's great. If not, have a good think to yourself. I want you to choose some words to describe the fact that the two women are described so differently by the media, despite acting very similarly. So I've put a few words here what I've thought of that you could use. I want you to choose some that you think are correct when describing how they've been described. So we could use unbalanced, because even though they're acting similarly, they're not being reported the same, so they're not equal. So again, leads us to another word, unequal. What words will you choose? Pause the video and then come back and join us when you've done. So for this question, we're going to look at examples 3 and 4. You'll be able to see them better in your text in your packs. How do the words used aim to make the reader feel? So for instance, if we look at this article here, it's both about a bouquet. It's both about the same flowers. And let's have a look what they say. Kate Middleton's homegrown bouquet of lily of the valley follows royal code. So we're just looking at the words here. So if we look at the word homegrown, what the journalist has used, that gives us a feeling that she's done it herself, she's worked hard, she hasn't brought them, she's made them. Bouquet suggests a lovely bunch of flowers, because they haven't just used bunch, they've used bouquet. If we look here, royal wedding, how Meghan Markle's flowers may have put Princess Charlotte's life at risk. The journalist has used life at risk. As soon as we saw that, in our heads we think that Meghan Markle has put Princess Charlotte in danger, and she knew about it. So the headlines have used the words to help people form an opinion on both of these ladies. I want you to look at the other example now and then pause the text and think about the words in the headlines and how the journalist has used them to create opinion. Okay, so what did you think? So if we look here, we've got the word abuse. Now, as soon as we hear the word abuse, we think it's a bad word. The journalist has used a word that conjures up images or feelings or thoughts that aren't nice. And also drought. We think of drought, we think of thirst, we think of not getting enough. Again, shame is another bad word. If we look over here, Kate's morning sickness cure, Prince William gifted. If someone gifts something, it's a nice word. Gifted usually conjures up a nice feeling. So completely different words used in the same paper. What did you put for your answers? Okay, for this question here, we need to use our empathy skills, okay? Can you remember what empathy means? We are putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes. So the question is, what impact would these articles have on Meghan and the people that cared about her? So have a think about how you would feel if you were Meghan and you were reading these articles day in, day out. How would you feel, and how would the people who love you and cared about you feel about them too? Can't really go over the answer to this because it's your thought, it's your empathy skills. So pause the video and answer the question, and then come back and join us for the rest of the lesson. All right, next question. So in example number 6, we see the same journalist write opposing statements about Kate and Meghan. What may have caused her bias? So bias means when you're more one-sided than the other. So if we look at the headlines, how Kate went from drab to fab, from eyebrows and Pilates to a new style guru. Our experts reveal the Duchess of Cambridge's secrets to looking sizzling. So in this one, we're saying how Kate looks brilliant, what she's doing to look great, her fashion, her eyebrows, her exercise routine. And then on here we've got my memo to Meghan Markle following her Vogue editorial. We Brits prefer true royalty to fashion. So it kind of goes against what she's just said in this one about how they're kind of celebrating Royal Kate Middleton for being fashionable and looking good. So read the statements here as well, and then I want you to think about what may have caused the journalist's bias. So I wonder what you thought. Why did you think that the journalist showed bias in her articles? Let's have a look at this one. Again, this is another one that's using your opinion. Should journalists be allowed to use opinions or their own personal points of view when writing news stories? I want you to think about this and also link it to the last question. Let's have a look. This one here, where we showed our empathy. You could use that to help you answer this question on why or why not journalists should be allowed to use opinions of their own or personal viewpoints. What happens when they do use their own points of view? Do you think this is fair to give this to everybody else to read, or would you like to read everybody's point of view? Pause the video, and when you're ready, unpause, come back and join us. So your final task for today is imagine both women take their dog for a walk. How might the media portray each one? Okay, so I want you to think about them both taking their dog for a walk and what words a journalist might use. So they could portray, if they had bias, to a lot of the articles show a bias with Kate being the favourite. So they could portray Kate as taking a cute little dog on a stroll in a park. And then to portray Meghan, they might say she was walking a big, dangerous dog, or she was letting it off the lead, or it didn't have a muzzle, anything like that. And your challenge is to write down some ideas of how they might portray each one of the princesses. And can you think of a headline for the newspaper as an extra challenge? I can't wait to see the headlines. Good luck, Year 6, and don't forget to read the next few chapters of our class novel Cloud Busting after this lesson. See you tomorrow.